Hi guys, welcome back to Suero TV. I'm Lotto Yakpata, your usual host with the most. So today, we are actually going to be talking about investing in the stock exchange. We've actually done it before. We're going to do it again today, but this time we're taking a different angle to it. On how you can actually invest in the stock exchange. You hear while as we go on. I have Lame Molomo here, Head of Client Services for Imara Capital Securities. Lame, welcome to Suero TV.
Thank you for having us.
Emma. So Lame, what do you do? What does Head of Client Services do at Imara?
It sounds it's very glamorous, but it's a very simple job.
Yeah.
All I do is I look after the sales team here. We are your first point of call when you come and want to buy shares. We speak to you about your investments. I have a team of ladies and gentlemen that help you when you come in.
Yeah. All right. So what does Imara Capital Securities do? What do you guys do?
We're one of the 3 stockbrokers that are here in Botswana.
Yeah.
So we're your first point of call if you want to invest in the stock exchange.
All right. Take us through. Now we're going to actually talk about investing in the stock market. We have talked about this before, but I wanted to talk about it again because, keeping talking about it. When we keep talking about it, then it actually sips through, and just in case Motswana has actually missed, or one of our viewers, wherever you are in Australia, wherever you have actually missed the interviews, we're doing this one again. Strategically, more information in it as well, so that you really understand how to invest in the stock market and what process we're gonna. So can you just take us through how you actually help a client to invest in the stock market?
Okay, I think a lot of clients do know, but there seems to be a gap somewhere on what exactly is supposed to happen. You're very right with that, Larato. A lot of clients, especially our parents, for example, would have participated in the stock market by maybe purchasing shares in an IPO, which is an initial public offering. Back then, they would give them share certificates. You'd have this nice...
BBS.
Not even BBS, you've got your KB, what's the Chaba?
I remember Chaba,
your F&B. Back then, there were a lot of companies that were in the stock market. So a lot of them would have participated. But you'll find that some of these documents are in a wardrobe somewhere.
Gathering
dust. And the people look at the TV and they see Sachaba's gone up at one time and they're like, I've seen Sachaba somewhere.
That's so true, actually.
Some of them, would have participated in the huge IPO, which was BTC.
Yeah.
Some of recent, there was BBS, which converted the account, that share account into the actual BSC. So a lot of Botswana are part of this. They just don't know where maybe us as brokers fit in, or what it is that they need to do.
Yeah, what's going on in that world?
What's going on? But they've done it, but they just don't know where to go with this. And I always say, the thing with us Botswana is that we'll be there asking ourselves, but we never really pick up the phone and say, hello, this is what I've done. Maybe in the 90s, is this still relevant now? So it's very simple. Those that have share certificates or have participated in the IPO, you need to have, let me just go back to the share certificates. If you have a share certificate, it's no longer valid. Not that your shares are not valid, but that share certificate is no longer valid. The BSC have a section of it called the CSD, which is the Central Securities Depository Botswana. Which is where now shares are kept electronically. So the share certificates have now changed from that form to electronically. So you now get a statement like you would at the bank, just to show that you have 100 such type of shares. So you would bring that share certificate into us, and then we would open an account for you with a broker. And for you to open an account, you need your KYC. We know now everything is KYC, which is your Mang. If you're a Motswana, you would need your passport if you are a foreigner, proof of where you live, proof of your income, or if you're still employed, you would need a letter from your employer verifying the above.
That's just KYC means know your customer.
Know your customer. We need to know.
Yeah, we need to know
who you are.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, if you've got a share certificate. Then there are those who have shares and receive these emails from Imara, from CSD, and really don't know.
I don't even read them. I'm sure they're just like, hey,
I don't know what this is. And those, maybe they participated in the different IPOs. They've got an account with the CSD.
Yeah.
But the gap here, in order for you to increase your shares, to, maybe, get a part of it, you still need to go through the same process where you bring in your KYC and you open an account. You need to have 2 accounts, one with Imara and one with the Botswana Stock Exchange, which is the CSD.
Okay. And Imara obviously opens both with Imara and the stock exchange. All right. So, a lot of people find it complicated, obviously, like how I've been saying. How do you simplify it for the customer? Let's simplify it for them.
I think it's very simple. I mean, it is complicated because I think a lot of it is in financial language and we talk about all these...
My brother, when you said my brother the other day, says, no, stand in consulting, we have to look like we're clever. Say big words.
There are a lot. I must admit, there are a lot of big words. But to be honest, the simple thing is to come in, because everyone's share journey is very different.
Yeah.
Like I just explained before. So it's just to come in, ask us questions. That, for example, I bought 1,000 shares at the BTC IPO. I bought them a long time ago.
Yeah.
I really don't know where my shares are, how to access my money, or how to increase my investment that I've made. And your first point of call is your broker. And unfortunately, the brokers are only in Gaborone. All 3 of us are only based in Gaborone. But we're a telephone call away. You can send us an email, and we're always willing to help wherever you are in the country. Right now with Corona, we don't really, people are not coming to offices. So the platforms that are there are your email, your telephone call, and we will be able to assist you from wherever you are.
I think you will also share your contact details so that when people actually need to give you a call. So I think let's just clarify that again for Botswana, is that, or for a listener, whoever is listening, that for you to invest in the Botswana Stock Exchange or any stock market, you need a broker. You can't just go walk into the Botswana Stock Exchange and say you want to invest in shares. You need a broker, and they will assist you with the investment into the stock market. And with that process, then again, like she's saying, you've already bought your shares, and BTC, you shouldn't just be sitting. You should be checking what's happening with them. And how can you also do that? You can give them a call, and they can help you to find out what's going on with your shares. Can you diversify your portfolio? Because it's time to possibly diversify your portfolio. So what does diversifying your portfolio mean, Lami? Like, let's say shares, or shares a long time ago, whatever, and I've been sitting, our parents or whoever, because I know some of us, our parents, shares, we don't even know what's happening. What can I do right now? What do you advise one to do? How they did that a long time ago?
If you've got shares, your first point of call is to find a broker. Because a lot of people, if you've invested or you had shares from a long time ago, you get what is called a dividend. And a dividend is when the company declares after that financial year a portion of money that they're going to give to their shareholders. So you've been receiving these checks through the post. They like my 50 pula, they come maybe twice a year, once a year, and you then just deposit them.
Yeah.
But, that money could be going into your account. You could be selling those shares. So what you do, your first point of call is to come to a broker and to say, I've been receiving these checks. I actually haven't even deposited any of them. Here's my bunch of shares. How do I, make sure that the money comes into my account? How do I make sure that I can diversify my portfolio like you were saying? You'd need those accounts that we were talking about, which is the CSD account and the broker account. We would then update your details on CSD so that you would get your money, your dividends into your account rather than them sending a check. And then you would then look, okay, along bought Sachaba, it was 100 shares. Do I want to increase
with the same money
that's been coming in, or now BTC is 70 tebe. Do I take money and put it into BTC? The advice we always give is, when the share prices are low, you want to buy because that's when you'd get more shares. And then, there are those investors that come in and say, no, but I'm doing it because I want to get dividends. And they buy matured stocks like your Chobe, your BIHL. But that prices are a bit higher. So if you put in 1,000 pula, you won't get as many shares as if you're putting in 1,000 pula for your BTC shares. So it's always, we always say to a client, the minimum shares you can buy is 100 shares per counter on the stock exchange. But, buy low and then have the hope for it. The share price is going to grow as the company, does different strategies.
So that's the best strategy.
That's the best strategy is to buy low, sell high. So for example, like right now, the price for BTC yesterday, it closed the market at 70 tebe. You buy BTC now at 70 tebe, you give it a year, you've made a profit. But you can then put them for a long time to sell them maybe in 10 years and hope that in 10 years that share price would have gone. For example, that's a chaba I think highly I don't know. But for 17 pool. It's 20 pool. 17 pool like BIHL. So you can see over the years the share price has gone up. And if you're selling after that many years, then you're able to make money. But since 100 pula you go now more money into that stock.
It's actually a really good point. Do you assist with that?
We do.
Yeah.
We really do.
Would you do assist showing client the different options available?
Yeah, so print like now it's on the CSD. So we print out your statement and say, these are the shares that you have. This is what they're worth now. Where would you like to increase? Where would you like to decrease? And
this is what I advise.
Yeah, this is what we advise. So we pride ourselves on saying that we're research based advice. So we've got a research team that look at these different stocks, that analyze their financials, and then every Friday we send out what we call a weekly, where it then tells you, this is our recommendations for this week. Let's say as a buy, the different ones, which one is a sell, which one is a hold. So if you've got those stocks, you then look at your own portfolio and say, okay, I've got these ones. This is the recommendation that this one is a hold, this is a buy. How then do if I want to maybe be active this week, which stocks am I looking at buying?
All right. Okay, thank you for that. Actually, this is actually very informative. Now let's talk about the costs involved, because we'll keep giving BTC because that's the most popular one that has happened recently. For example, we buy shares at 70 tebe. At like right now they're worth that much. What are the other costs involved? Because that's another thing that people think 70 pula they're gonna walk into Imara. Not just 70 pula make you it's or whatever. It's 100 pula. No, 70 tebe pay. Let's go through that.
Well, the costs aren't a lot. So if, for example, you wanted to buy, which is the minimum, 100 shares, whether you're starting or you're increasing. So you wanted to buy 100 shares of BTC. Yes, the initial cost is 70 pula. That's what it's going to be. And that's what, for example, if you're buying at IPO, 70 pula. But obviously, as a broker, what cost? So our commission is 60 basis points. The BSC charges you, the CSD and BSC charge you about 10. And then there's the VAT and a handling fee of 15 pula. So for example, if we do a quotation for you, I need a quotation, I want to buy BTC shares. And it will look a little bit like this. It'll be the consideration, which is 70 pula. You'll have your commission. Our commission is 42 tebe actually. That's all we make out of it. Your handling fee, 15 pula. Exchange fee, which is the BSE fee, 11 tebe. And the CSD fee would be 8 tebe. Then we've also got to pay VAT, 1 pula 87 tebe. And then the total price for 100 shares that BTC with yesterday's price would be 87 pula 88 10.
When you're walking in,
like 90 pula ha change. But then there's people who want to come in with 10,000 pula, for example. So some clients would say, I've got 10,000 pula and I want 10,000 pula worth of let's say shares, for example. And the price let's say was 66 tebe. So you would then get about 14,982 shares. If you are very adamant, I want to spend 10,000 pula on these shares. And then, the prices again would be, our commission 59 pula, sorry. The handling fee still remains the same. And then the exchange fees are a percentage in a 1483. And then CSD 11 pula, VAT 12 pula. Then in that 10,001, 10,000
I get you.
Pula 27. So, like I say, different scenarios come in and then we try and work with what you've got.
I think, this is a really important conversation because, as an investor, you want to come in and invest, and we want to make it very clear and very open for Mozana or whoever that you want to invest. It's for anyone.
Yes.
It's not for a particular budget or anything. For anyone, you can come and walk in. No, not walk in. I guess you can't walk in right now. You can call. Yes, you can call and actually make an appointment if you want to buy shares. And then, 10,000 pula and invest. Are you able to say me? Advisor or 5,000 that. That's what also your role is, right?
Some people come in with a budget for 10,000 and they're adamant that they want one stock. But we always say, look, don't put your eggs into one basket. Let's look at the recommendations as buyers at the moment. And then 5,000, 2,000, 1,000 at different stocks. You might that way you'll see your portfolio grow quicker because you're not just looking at one stock.
All right.
You're looking at a variety of different stocks. I always say to people, look, there's different sectors. You've got your banks, which is ABSA, FNB, Bank ABC. You've got your banks. There's the retail section. Your Choppies is still there. Your Cefalan is still there. So there's different sectors. So you just look at it and say, oh, okay. But I always say to people, when it's your first time, you want to, if you're using a BTC phone, you're already given that company money. Put money into BTC. If you're banking with FNB,
I get you.
Go from where you're putting your money on a daily. Hello, every weekend on a St. Louis. Because you are, as a person, you almost look at, okay, this is my life. What is it that I'm doing with
that's
my
actually
life?
really good.
Every weekend, you can St. Louis but I'm investing in mining.
For instance. So basically,
when you start, just my advice is always look at what you do daily. You shop go to a PC, you go FNB or you go ABSA, and
might as well.
Every weekend. You start off and you say, okay, let me look at these ones because this is where I put my money. Then, when you are a little bit more comfortable with it, you start then looking at your mining stocks, you start looking at different stocks because now you've played around with things that you are aware of and understand. It's a business which you understand, which when they say, for example, FNB didn't make money, you're like, but I'm
putting in money. What do you guys mean?
You start looking, maybe
it's sentimental.
Yes.
So what you're saying is let's include the sentimental part of it.
But it's also not a good thing.
Not necessarily.
It's not necessarily a good thing. You also then need to look at what is your investment goal here. Are you into it for the dividends or are you into it to grow your portfolio in shares? So there's different. As an investor, you need to have goals to say, this is what I want my money to do for me. There are those mature investors who say, I only want to invest in stocks that can give me dividend. And they then ask us, can I have a dividend sheet? And let me look at which stocks have been performing well and what's the dividend yield on these stocks. And they will only invest there because they are only investing in the stock market for the dividend. There are those then who are new at the game and say, okay, I want to be in this for the long term. So I want to buy low and then sell high. So there's different strategies that,
involved that we can look at.
That you can look at. And, these are conversations that we obviously have with you when you come and see us. You don't just come in and say, okay, when you BTC, we're like, okay, no, this BTC, but then we'd obviously show you other stocks that are there and, look at our research, what our research team has come up with, and then recommend based on what they've said.
No, this is a good one. And it's, let's emphasize on the importance of having patience when you're investing.
Yes.
Patience isn't the turnaround.
Yes.
Obviously, I mean, we don't have much time left, so we're just going to wrap it up a bit. But I want us to also guys, when you're investing today, next year, where are my dividends landing?
And to be fair, a lot of Botswana almost treat shares like a savings account for banking. They want to do in 3 months, and it doesn't work like that. It's just something that almost need to decipher to say that's not how it works. You need to look at the longevity of that share. It might take a while before you actually get.
But you do advise on that as well.
Yes,
the expectations. The expectations. Now, let us also just stress the point that yes, you do help with investing into the stock exchange or in the stock market, but you do not necessarily assist with the managing of the stocks.
No.
So when you come in, obviously now as an individual or as an investor, you're gonna need to find a way. You keep calling Imara. I guess you can call Imara, guys.
What's going on?
What's going on there? And then
we're not we don't manage your portfolio. We're just the stockbroker. So there's companies out there that do manage.
Those are the asset managers.
So right now we just facilitating you in buying and selling of your shares.
All right. Okay. Are you able to invest outside Botswana stock market?
You are. Look, Imara is an international group. So luckily for us, we've got bases all around the world. So if you want to invest in South Africa, we can do it, or wherever. And some people come, I want to invest in Facebook. We're like, no problem.
Perfect. This is actually a good one because, like you're saying, I'm using Facebook. Everybody's using Facebook. So then you can actually say, okay, I want to check out the New York Stock Exchange, what's going on there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, then you're able to
But I must stress that, going outside the country, the different stock markets around the world it's not cheap. So in order for you're going to incur a lot of costs. So we always say the minimum amount that we would want if you wanted to go outside is 50,000.
50,000.
That money you'll see very quickly around the way with the charges of the different exchanges become small, just so that you're able to get a sizable amount of shares when we buy them
from 50,000
because there's an exchange rate as well that has to be factored in.
All right.
And stuff.
I think we're going to wrap up our interview. So what we're going to do, we'll probably have a follow-up interview just on this because I feel like there's more to share. There's a lot more to share. So we'll definitely see if we can have a follow-up interview. Would you kindly just let our viewers know how they can get hold of you?
Yes, you can get a hold of us on our sales email, which is icsales@imara.com, or call us at the office, which is 31 quad 8, which is 4 8s and a 6 at the end. 3188886. Those are our numbers.
Yeah. I hope you were not too nervous. Did you have a good time?
No, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Talk about what I do every day.
Yeah, you're good at this. You're really brilliant. Thank you so much for doing this for Suero. Thank you guys. We will see you another time for another round with probably Lame again. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.